the last committee I was on was in 1990 when I, along with Preston McLaughlin, Sam Norris, Britt Spears, Laura Bowman, Laura Barty at that time, and Joe Eastus. And we had been to several churches in Alabama. We'd even been to Mississippi and Georgia. And the last pastor that we dealt with got as far as coming and meeting with the finance committee, and after he found out what we could pay, he was no longer interested in our church. So we didn't have any more resumes to look at, but Jared Parker, who was the pastor at Moody Baptist Church, gave Laura a resume of a young pastor, and it was the least impressive of any that we'd had. It was just only one page. And so we went down on a cold day in November to hear him in Vernon, at a little church in Vernon, Alabama. And so when I saw him, I thought, gosh, he looks like such a kid. And then I saw little Bethany and Rachel walking across from the parsonage, and I thought they were so cute. And we met with him in his little antique building by the church, and then really as soon as I heard him preaching, I really felt that he was the person that God had for us, and that was just further, I felt like, made plain to me when we were sitting in his office talking to him, and after the service, and he said he was looking for a church that had nowhere to go but up. And I thought, you're looking at 5 people from that church, because I thought that, you know, we had lost so many members that I was afraid that our church was just, you know, we were just going, the doors would just be closed. And anyway, he, you know, he's our present pastor, and we've been able to keep him for 27 years, which I just thank God for that, because after we had a succession of pastors, it's just wonderful to have been able to keep Brother Billy all those years. And he's a wonderful pastor, and he's always there for his people. He goes the extra mile to minister to his people and also other people. A recent former First Baptist pastor who was speaking at one of our Holy Week services said, "I'm the pastor of First Baptist Church, but Billy Abrams is the pastor of Leeds." Well, you know, Billy Abrams is the pastor he ministers to whoever he meets. And he will go to any extent to visit his members at any place they are, out of state or wherever. And I just thank God that we have him as our pastor, and he's always been there for me and for my family. And I'm just so thankful that our church has someone like him, and I feel that if Cedar Grove continues always to preach the Word of God and stay true to the Word of God, that God is going to continue to bless Cedar Grove and the members, and that our church is going to continue.
Can you tell me about any of the dear old saints that you remember, the life lessons that they taught you?
Well, I think there were, a number of people when I was a baby Christian, and thank God that, He gave me people in my life to show me the way. And that He chastised me when I did things that were wrong. And I thank Him also for having a godly mother, because I really always, from a very young child, believed in God, because I walked into a room and my mother was down on her knees praying to God. I didn't mention that one of my brothers swallowed lye diluted in water, and it closed his throat up for 8 years, and so my mother took care of him. And I don't really know how in the world my mother survived. It was only with God, with as much responsibility and as much as she had to do taking care of children. And I also did not mention that my dad was saved under Brother Battles. He had pancreatic cancer, and he died at the age of 56, but he was saved through Brother Battles ministry.
So tell us about a time at Cedar Grove where your faith was tested, or you grew spiritually.
Well, I think when we were tested is when we went through the succession of having pastors for a short period of times, and that, those were difficult years, and I feel like that I grew with that, and I learned to hang in there and know that God, whatever, is going to bring you through.
Wonderful. So how would you complete this sentence? God is calling Cedar Grove to...
I think God is calling Cedar Grove to continue with the ministries and increase and to grow. One thing I've learned about getting older is that you never stop learning, you never stop growing. God can, teach you things and change your heart and help you with, we're all flawed people, but that God can work with you and work on those flaws even when you're old.
Yeah, thank God.